5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Yo, what's up, good people? Y'all know what time it is. It's AA Sports, straight sports, no chaser. Got the super team of sports talk here with y'all. I'm one half of it, Diego Barishnikov, the Black Dominican Russian. And my man checking in from North Georgia, the other half of the team. My main man is 6 foot and under, the post-up champ. Tell him who you are.
What's good, good people? It's the other A and AA Sports. Your boy Uncle Hate broadcasting live on a Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving. I am thankful to be off for a long time after tomorrow.
There it is. There it is. Definitely going to enjoy getting some good time off. Spending time with some family, some friends, and of course, a lot of eating and indulging will probably be taking effect as well.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of indulging, before we get into indulging, we again want to thank y'all for joining in and tuning in to us. Those of y'all that listen to us on the Spreaker platform, don't forget to tap that heart and that star. Give us a follow and some love there. We appreciate that. Also, those of y'all that view and watch us on the YouTube channel, we appreciate that as well. You can find that at AA Sportscast, straight sports, no chaser, on both of those particular platforms. Hopping right on into it, as we say, we just got through saying, it's going to be probably a lot of indulging by us and a lot of you all too this weekend. So it's only fitting we ride on into open bar with that in the club, free before 10, open bar. And we got a couple open bar tidbits for y'all tonight. Hey, start us off with the first one.
First one, we got to say a good send-off. We can raise a glass to the Georgia Dome. Georgia Dome got blown up the other day. I had feelings about that because the Dome didn't suck. It's been 25 years, though, but they couldn't repurpose that for something else.
I mean, you would think, but, a lot of stuff they used it for. I mean, you think about all the other high school games, Final Fours, WWF has been here multiple times. I'm thinking, they usually go to Phillips Arena, I'm honestly mistaken. College football championships, Sugar Bowl, Chick-fil-A Bowl. You got all this stuff that goes on that was happening in the Dome, but who gonna want to go have that stuff in the Dome? You got a brand new shiny toy sitting next door to it.
Rest in peace to the house that Dion built. Rest in peace.
They're going to have some developers come in there, and it's supposed to be like a big hotel and some other things that's going to be coming in and kind of, I guess, to flow with the new stadium. They should have used it for parking.
Yeah. So parking is such a good business to be into. God, I wish I got into it when I was younger.
Yeah. Or they can let them folks, should let them folks build their church back.
I won that Super Bowl last year. Had they not took them folks church?
Oh man,
that's not even a myth, people. That's not even a myth. You can't tell somebody your church got to go, but I can have me a new stadium and think it's gonna work out. Don't.
We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna see how that goes. I'm trying to sit here and just off the top of my head, trying to think of my fondest moment in the Georgia Dome. One is probably not even sports related because I'm not a Falcons fan. But I remember the Kings of Comedy. Matter of fact, I think me, you, whoever we were seeing at the time, a couple friends went to that show, Kings of Comedy, when they first jumped off. Steve Harvey said, the entertainer, Bernie Mac, rest in peace, D.L. Hughley. That was one of the groundbreaking shows for black comedy back in that time frame. I guess I think it was early mid '90s.
Yeah.
So that was good to see them host a venue that big. Georgia Dome hosts 60,000, 70,000 people. And for a comedy show, that was unheard of at the time.
I want to say we was in college that first year. We saw a scrimmage, an Olympic basketball team scrimmage at the Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
I want to say that was like Dream Team 2 that summer, I think.
Yeah, the 96 team. Shaq, Penny Hardaway, Sean Kemp, them cats.
Yeah. So that was my fondest one because I'm not a Falcons fan either, but yeah. Good shit. Hate to see it go, but Mercedes-Benz is awesome. That's a nice
It's a
stadium.
nice stadium. If you get a chance to visit Atlanta, come check it out. I haven't been for a game yet, which I plan to do hopefully before the end of the season. Been to another event and very nice digs, very nice digs.
Mm-hmm.
Next up on the open bar, second topic, dabble to a little bit of basketball. We got an or I guess he's retired. Did he ever file paperwork? We're talking about.
He filed last year. Remember, Rondo was like, "Oh, I thought he retired a long time ago."
Right. So we're talking about Ray Allen. If y'all have not heard, Ray Allen got caught up in a little catfish situation. Apparently, Ray Allen been online, fishing and trying to find them girls out there on the internet, them IG models, and Facebook bras. So apparently he was out here and thought he was, I almost said conversing. I know people hate that, but whatever. It's my show. Well, our show.
I'm with you.
He was talking to some chicks online, thought they was chicks. Come to find out it was a dude. Posing as all these different kind of women. And then he couldn't get rid of the dude. Apparently the dude's, kind of stalking him, putting out stuff about him and his wife, his kids, showing up to his wife's restaurant, taking pictures, tagging himself in the picture to let them know that he nearby, he watching them. And then apparently there was some type of settlement, to get him to go away. He's broken that agreement. So now Ray Allen has had to go to, tuck his tail and go to court or go trying to get some kind of legal protection. But let me ask you this: you out here married, kids, and now you out here getting catfished by dudes. What's going on, Ray?
I tell you my issue with that whole situation. Last time I heard, Ray still lives in Miami, right? Because they got that juice bar and all that down there.
Okay.
The few times we've been to Miami, do you have to look for women?
Nah.
They everywhere.
Everywhere what?
And you online? Move better, man. You older than that. Jesus, you older than that.
You know what I'm saying? Jesus Shuttleworth, is he a two-time NBA champ, right?
Yeah, he got one with Miami, one with Boston.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, a little better than that.
What are these cats doing? It's women everywhere. That's why brothers take shades to Miami when you with your woman. Because they're going to be looking at your eyes. You need the shades to see the women.
Yep.
They're everywhere.
I mean, you get a crook in your neck doing one of these, you know what I'm saying?
Just keep the shades on. Just be looking straight.
Hey, man. Tactics. We'll have to teach all those tactics another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Ray, come on, man. Do better.
Do better.
All right, so that's it for open bar. Hope y'all done got nice and get your little buzz going so we can get on into the meat and potatoes, get on this dance floor, what we call a week, NFL Week 11 recap. Going to go down the scores of the Week 11 games, and then we're going to go dive into a few of the games a little bit more in depth. So to start off, we had the Thursday night game last week. Pittsburgh Steelers beating the dog shit out of the Titans, 40-17. This game was actually close, it seemed like, for about most of the first half.
Yeah.
Then it got away from Tennessee at the end. I don't think this game was on our breakdown. And I know you got an award coming up for Tennessee's quarterback later on.
Yeah.
For that award, I agree. But it was funny how he threw 4 interceptions and we really didn't hear nothing about it.
He hit that pass, cuz. They starting to talk now. They starting to say stuff here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But this team is okay. I'm about to say they're underachieving, but in the AFC, they win a game out the playoffs, give or take.
Yeah.
So
Tennessee, matter of fact, no, they're still in the playoffs. Playoffs started today, they would still be in it.
And all that talent on that team. I think I picked them to win the damn division. I want to say I did.
I think you did. Yeah, because I think I took Houston. I think you took Tennessee.
So they haven't brought it, but with the Steelers, they were at home. Ben balls at home, plain and simple. And Antonio Brown was amazing last Thursday night. He was amazing.
Absolutely, yeah, he absolutely was. I didn't realize it until I saw something after we got off of the air last week, right before that Steelers-Titans game came on. We talk about Pittsburgh. They have problems on the road. They have a tendency to. Most of the games that they've played this year have been on the road. They got, I think, 6 out of their last 8 games are at home. So they got a good little run coming up here.
They probably gonna cruise into that number 1 seed in the AFC.
I mean, it's probably going to come down to that game. I think it's in a couple of weeks when they play the Patriots in Pittsburgh. Okay.
I was wondering, have they played them yet? So they still got them.
They still got that. That's probably going to be the make or break game right there to see who gets that advantage to get that home field. Because I think they're both sitting at was it 8-3?
I believe 8-2.
8-2.
Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, 8-2. Both of them.
So yeah, they got they sit. I mean, they sitting pretty, and I think their schedule is pretty favorable the rest of the way. So outside of that, Pittsburgh game. So we'll see. How they do, but they looking all right now. Looking all right. Next up, starting with the Sunday games, we had the Detroit Lions going to the Chicago Bears. I think one of us may have called this a potential trap game. The Lions pulled it out 27-24.
They should have lost that game.
I didn't watch it, but I saw that they were struggling the whole way, so I was like, okay, it must be the typical Detroit, Matthew Stafford outside of home, up and down. You don't know which team you're gonna get each week. And, they kind of played down to the competition from what I gathered.
Yeah, Chicago let the boy throw the ball a little bit. And from what I saw, they had a chance to tie the game late. They damn near was in field goal range. I think the field goal kicker missed it.
Okay.
But, Lions are pretty much right on the outside looking in. They got the same record as the Falcons and Seattle at 6-4. But Atlanta holds that tiebreaker. Sure does.
Right, we're going to get to them here momentarily. So let's go ahead and run off the rest of these scores real quick. We got the Jacksonville Savages beating the Cleveland Browns 19-7. Got the Baltimore Ravens going up to Green Bay. And I don't know if there's any team missing their quarterback any more than the Green Bay Packers, but the Packers miss Aaron Rodgers. 23-0.
$50 million for 1 year. And what choice would they have but to give it to him?
Hey man, we talk about from time to time what it would take for NFL players to start getting guaranteed money. Some people talked about Andrew Luck could have been the first because it's not that it's not in their collective bargaining agreement that it can't happen. It's just a matter of who's going to be willing to, hold out and get it. I think it would have to be a quarterback to kind of start that trend, and it'll have to be somebody like an Aaron Rodgers where that the team has no choice but to pay him, and they're not going to be like, well, you go ahead and go on about your way. So
I was telling somebody yesterday, the sad part, even if he wanted out, they could just franchise him for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the sad part about it. He can just get franchised. They're going to pay him, but he couldn't leave if he wanted to, really.
Right. I mean, and, honestly, where would he go?
Man.
So
that cat could help a lot of teams.
I mean, he could, but, as long as he's there, and, Green Bay is in the hunt every year, so it's not like, when he's playing that they are struggling to make the playoffs. They pretty much there in contention every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if he had, if it was the opposite, he there, he balling, they still not making it, then I would be looking at some other options, some other spots. But as of right now, he's almost like Favre was in Green Bay. He is God in Green Bay.
Oh yeah. I mean, plus he got his one already, so it's not like he pressed. He got his.
It's time. He gotta get one more before he leaves, especially with all the the talk people want to put around him is put him in that greatest ever conversation. I'm gonna need another one for me to put him in that bucket.
Shit, Dan Marino would kill for that one.
He would, but that's some of the reasoning why he doesn't make a lot of people's all-time lists, even though we know the talent was there, the numbers was there, just never was able to get it done. He's another cat. Probably, you think Dan Marino had a little bit of that KG? Stayed loyal to that one team too long?
But back then, cats weren't really leaving teams, though. Cats weren't really leaving like that. I think Reggie White was the first, legit big free agent. That was, 94, 95, somewhere around there. Cats weren't leaving teams.
Reggie, he didn't get traded.
Reggie White, remember, he went to Green Bay as a free agent. He left Philadelphia. He chose Green Bay because Green Bay brought the Brinks truck back then.
Right. And I guess too, Miami, they were pretty much, I ain't gonna say title contenders, but they were playoff contenders for a good part of Marino's career, if I remember correctly.
They
So
made the playoffs. He just didn't have a lot of consistent talent around him.
right.
Same, with Aaron. But you look at this team without him this year, it just looks. You can really tell the difference. Jordy Nelson is falling off a cliff without him.
Yeah, because Hundley he's dialed in on Devontae Adams pretty much, and Randall Cobb from time to time.
I wonder with that though, is it because those cats? It seems like Jordy strictly is a route runner, precise. He's going to be to that point. These cats are more athletic, so he has more of a radius with them. I wonder with Devontae.
Yeah, I mean that, and a lot of times I think Jordy Nelson runs a lot of those deep, long developing routes down the field.
That's true.
And this young cat, for one, sometimes he don't even have the time to let a play develop that long. And when he does have time, he is hesitant to look through those reads. They pointed out on the broadcast Sunday how he's hesitant to pull the triggers on people that are wide open in the flat. So
right.
That's definitely taking their passing game back a notch. So we'll see if they still in the hunt. If they can pull off another game or two, and maybe Aaron Rodgers can come save their ass again.
Yeah, they still technically right there. Technically.
Ain't that some shit? Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting a 2-game win streak, 30-20 over the Miami Dolphins. Your boy Jay Cutler got knocked out of this game, I heard, with a concussion. Sad.
You think we see Jameis again this year?
I don't know. Good question, because they held him out another week now.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a setback. He just need more rest. I know this to say it's an AC joint sprain or whatever. So I don't know. It depends on probably. I mean, they're 4-6 now. Shit, you look at them. You look up, and they kind of right back in the mix a little bit. If they can steal this game against the Falcons this week, I think that's who they play this week. The Falcons. Yeah. I would have gave them a small chance if Jameis would have played. But not with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know he's doing all right, and they've won 2 games in a row. But Atlanta hot right now and coming back home. I think Tampa gonna get ran out of the gym.
They played the Jets and the Dolphins 2 games in a row. Them ain't top notch competition, but
yeah, I mean them same Jets and that was Buffalo and the Dolphins. They came to Atlanta and beat Atlanta in their home field. So anything can happen.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they did go in their house and beat them. Down 17-0. So
next up, we got the LA Rams, high-scoring offense in the league, averaging 32.9 points, getting shut down, going down to Minnesota, 24-7. We had the New Orleans Saints, who were down 31-16. When I want to say with about 4 or 5 minutes left, and the Redskins, Kirk Cousins and crew found a way to pitch the bed and let New Orleans come back and win 34-31. We had the shit bowl of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs going to the New York Giants off of a bye, trying to get right. Nope. Mustered up 3 field goals, 9 points, and they lose to 4 field goals from the Giants, 12-9. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals. They went to the Houston Texans and dropped that game 31-21 to the Texans. Next up, the Chargers, 54-24 over the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are sinking. Plus the fuck going on right there. Nate Perriman throwing 5. Yes, people, 5 interceptions in the first half.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, dumb shit going on in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Got the Cincinnati Bengals winning 20-17 over the Denver Broncos. Broncos are pretty much done. You got John Elway calling the team soft. You got the team getting mad about being called soft, but you're playing soft. Offense is not doing anything. I hear Paxton Lynch is going to get his goal this week. I don't want to call them a dumpster fire yet.
Nah, say it.
Do you think they dumpster fire status?
Because you know what I was looking at on page number 4 of our sheet? Denver is currently number 4 in draft order. Lose, cuz. Just lose. Get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Just lose. At this point, you have to start over. It's a dumpster fire.
Okay.
It's a dumpster fire.
All right, but damn, Broncos was so promising just a week ago.
Just a week.
The New England Patriots going to Mexico now in what 5,000-6,000 feet worth of altitude, winning 33-8 over the Raiders. Again, the Raiders, another team coming off of a bye week, needing a big win, and laid an egg.
Another dumpster fire.
I mean, and I had the damn Raiders. I think I had them winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did because I had them against Seattle in the Super Bowl. That matchup ain't looking very likely right now.
You might get half of it.
Seattle gonna have to do something because they're going in the wrong direction. Next up, Philadelphia Eagles beat the dog shit out of Dallas, 37-9. Very different team without Zeke. We talked about it last week. I think Dak threw 3 picks this game.
Yeah. Dak looked bad Sunday.
It doesn't look good for Dallas at all. We're gonna get into that in a minute, as well as the last game, Monday night game from last night. Atlanta kind of tried to give it away, but they held on 34-31 with Seattle coming up just a couple feet short on a 52-yard field goal by Blair Walsh at the end that would have sent it to overtime, but came up short. Atlanta has won 3 out of their last 4 or 4 out of their last 5, I believe. So they right the ship, getting it right. That's 2 weeks in a row, 2 playoff contending solid opponents that they've beaten. So they look to be headed back in the right direction. Putting up points last night, they look good.
I tell you one thing. This is pretty much true for all teams, all games. If you give up turnovers and give teams short fields early, that's hard to come back from.
Yeah.
Russell had them in the hole the first quarter with them 2 turnovers. In the hole.
Yeah.
And capitalized, did what they supposed to do. But that's hard to come back from when you get in the hole early like that. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Turnovers are so important.
Yeah, and and it didn't help. We're gonna get into them in a minute, but we'll get into all Pete Carroll shenanigans and all that shit.
Oh, yes. All right, let's go ahead and jump on Rams and Vikings.
Yes, sir.
I think I lost 3 or 4 this week. I might have lost all 4 games.
Head to head.
Yeah, I think I lost all of them.
Yeah, 3-3-3-0.
Yeah, I lost all 3. I thought the Rams and Vikings, the Vikings won 24-7. This was in a dome, so I figured they ain't fighting the elements. They played a good defense, but they're going to be able to put up points. This team is a machine. They are a machine. But one thing I was thinking about, and this is not Uncle hating. This is me just looking at stuff. Because if you look at the Rams, the games they've won, from what I can look at with their schedule. Huh?
Talking about who they didn't play?
Because they ain't played the 2 quarterbacks, I believe. And when I say 2, I mean Kirk Cousins. They played Dak and Russell Wilson, and they lost 2 of those 3.
Right.
They played no other starting quarterbacks that were good. Andrew Luck didn't play week 1. They played y'all. They played Jacksonville with Blake Bortles. They knocked out Carson Palmer. Eli didn't have shit. They played Tom Savage. They've only played 3 quarterbacks, and they lost 2 of them games.
Yeah, they haven't. Yeah, the quality of competition hasn't necessarily been there. I think we touched on it. You play your schedule, you play who in front of you, so you can't take that away from. But at the same time, looking at the back half of their schedule, we were saying, hey, we're gonna find out about them and see how serious they are. Seattle missed a golden opportunity last night to take the division lead. Because if they would have won, them and the Rams would have had the same records at 7-3, and Seattle would have had the tiebreaker since they've beaten the Rams and would have jumped into the division leading spot.
Right.
Maybe that put some pressure on a young team like the Rams coming here down the stretch where everything was looking kind of cozy the first half, and you got people breathing down your neck now, and you got tougher opponents. So we're going to see how they rebound. But I was impressed by the Vikings defense. Shutting down the highest scoring machine in the league, holding them to 7 points. I mean, they totally shut Todd Gurley down. I think after that first drive, I think the Rams got that touchdown on that first drive.
Walked down the field, scored the first touchdown, didn't put another point on the board.
That was it.
Not one. not a field goal, and I had that kicker in fantasy, and I was wanting points. Didn't get but 1 point from him. They shut them down.
I mean, they had held Todd Gurley to 37 yards on 15 carries. Robert Woods had 8 balls for 81 yards. I wasn't expecting that. But at the same time, insult to injury, they lose him due to a knee injury, and he's going to be out of the lineup for multiple weeks, and he was their number 1 target.
He left with a sling on his arm, too, from what I saw.
Okay, maybe it wasn't a knee then. Maybe it wasn't a knee with him. But, yeah, but he's out. Robert Woods is out for multiple weeks.
Yeah. And now they got turned to Cooper Kupp, who had another costly drop. And then you got to turn to Sammy White.
Mr. Goldrock. Yeah, so like I said, Sean McVay, so far he's probably one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year. But he's gonna have to prove it these last. We got about 6-7 weeks left. He gonna have to bring it. They're gonna have to bring it.
You remember that little chat song? It's another hood song from back in our time. I flip a crumb to a brick, to a rock. He done flipped that brick to a rock right now. But now you at the point you gotta start moving some weight. You got some real teams coming in there.
Yeah,
he was the early Coach of the Year, but
yeah, he gonna have to. Yeah, they got tall tasks coming up last couple of weeks. So I forget who they got this week. Matter of fact, no, they don't have.
They got the Saints, cuz.
I think it's at home. They at home, but that's gonna be a tough game. So we'll see.
Can Mike Zimmer go ahead and just say Case Keenum is the starter until?
Is he still playing around with that? Why? Well, what's the?
I don't understand. I don't. 280 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, wasn't sacked. What's the problem?
Like you said, no turnovers, 100.8 QBR rating. I mean, you got Latavius Murray balling, 95 yards on 15 carries. Adam Thielen, they got Adam Thielen looking like Jerry Rice, like he uncoverable. It's like I said, first probably 6 or 7 games, I wasn't taking Minnesota serious. If I decided to give them a little respect, they haven't let me down the last couple of weeks. I mean, look, damn, third down, 7 out of 14 on third down, 451 yards. 1 time of possession, 37 minutes to 22. I mean, this is a dominant performance all the way around.
They got Detroit on Thursday. Then they got Atlanta, Carolina, Cincinnati, Green Bay, and Chicago. They control their own destiny.
Yeah, they do. I would worry about a couple of them teams, though. Even though Case Keenum is playing good and all right now, a couple of those teams, like Carolina, like the Falcons on a good day, depending on where that game is at, you're going to have some pretty decent defenses to go up against. So
Detroit.
I don't trust Detroit's defense. I don't trust them.
I'm not talking about the defense. I'm talking about putting up points on Thanksgiving because Detroit normally plays well on Thanksgiving. But,
we'll see.
I mean, they're full control of their situation. Full control. I don't see anything. I mean, they just 56 total plays. That offense only put up 254 yards.
Yeah, if you're talking about the Rams, they only converted 3 out of 11 third down. You can't third downs. You can't win like that.
No, you can't.
All right. So next up,
All right.
high-scoring, entertaining game from this week. Had the New Orleans Saints pulling one out, 34-31 against the Washington Redskins. The Redskins dominated, outplayed the Saints for most of this game. And they were up 31-16 with a little bit of time left in the fourth. Should have closed it out, but didn't. A couple boneheaded things by Kirk Cousins. Intentional grounding, I think he took that knocked him out of field goal range. That was a bad play. And I think he had a turnover or a pick or something that gave New Orleans the ball back late as well. What you seeing out of this game? Anything out of the norm?
You know what?
Oh, Drew Brees back.
I was going to say, this game was encouraging to me because he hasn't had to do it all year. It's been the running game and the defense. But when they needed to dial it up and he had to win the game, he was able to do it. It only makes that team scarier. That run game. 134 yards from Ingram, 74 from Kamara. I'm sorry, 42 from Kamara, 74 in the air. Hey, man, they look good.
Yeah, they do. Like
this is the roadblock that the Falcons going to have to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, not only the Falcons, your Panthers, that NFC South is back looking like a very strong division like it has been. In the Saints right now, for me, the Saints are they're winning games a lot of different ways. You know, they're blowing people out. They're coming back. They're winning grind out close games. You know, when you start winning games in any and every way, it goes to a lot toward the playoffs, and you know that's a good sign in a lot of cases.
Right. I don't. The Redskins, they had a chance to make a real statement. They wouldn't have caught Philadelphia. They weren't going to catch them in that division.
Right.
To go down there and get that win after beating Seattle, what are they right now? Washington is 4-6. Only thing I can say about the Redskins, they keep taking injuries. You ain't got no choice but to pay Cousins, people. Y'all just don't. What other way are you going to go?
Unless they're going to draft.
And start all over again?
I mean, that's the only other alternative. Is Jay Gruden going to be there?
I don't necessarily care for him as a coach.
No, I couldn't hear you. Had broke up. Did you say
I don't necessarily care for him as a coach.
No, I don't either. I'm saying you think he's gonna be there next year?
I mean, shit.
This is his what, fourth year?
It's his third year. They're 4-6. They get to 8-8. He'll have a job, but I don't know if they're gonna get to 8-8.
Yeah.
They just had some bad injuries. I mean, every time you turn around, somebody's hurt. Every single time you turn around.
Yeah. And losing Chris Thompson, you know, this week, I think he's done for the season. That's big. I mean, Samarji, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Samarji Piran came in and balled this game, but is he going to be able to keep that up game after game? You know, Chris Thompson filled a lot of that third down back type of role, catching out of the backfield and doing all that kind of stuff. So he was a big part of this offense.
I see Terrell Pryor had season-ending surgery this week. Boy, he hustled backwards. It just did not work out for him in Washington.
Nah, it didn't. You know, somebody still give him a deal. He's young. You know, he's young. I mean, you look at a team. I'll take my 49ers, for example. We need weapons bad, especially at the receiver position. You know, get a big body like that. I'm not saying he Julio, but he's got that body type. He's shown some flashes, you know, to be a big receiving threat at times. So, you know, maybe we can give him a low ball deal, see what he can come in there and do with us. A team like that is probably where he's going to find himself at, you know, for little to no money next year. Like you say, he played himself out of that big contract.
Shit, I heard Cleveland tried to trade back for him at the trade deadline, but Washington said they were going to hold on to him.
Who knows what Cleveland? What are they going to do with Josh Gordon? I think he's supposed to be practicing this week. Is he going to see the field this
Josh
week?
can play next week.
Okay.
Like the first week of December. So he's practicing right now.
Gotcha.
So, hey, if they brought him back for low money and put him on the other side with Josh, I like that Njoku kid at tight end. They'd have some weapons, just need a damn quarterback. But Cleveland's another story all day. Yeah. Let's get into these Dallas Cowboys. Boy, I tell you, people, it's amazing how the pendulum turns and swings back and forth. All we kept hearing, Dak Prescott is elite. He's this, he's that. We done said at least the third week in a row. Like, man, Dak ain't look good. It's like the third week in a row. Hey, we keep saying it. It's a big difference when you're going 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, compared to 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8.
Right. Adam, Morris and Rod Smith didn't do bad running the ball this game. It's just at those times when they needed, passing, they couldn't get it done. Like I said, to me, they don't have the receivers or weapons that they need. I mean, you had basically trying to force feed Dez the ball. I think Dez had 14 to 15 targets, caught 8 balls, but he only had 63 yards. So what that tells me is he catching the ball and getting tackled immediately, whereas Dez of old is catching that ball and he getting yak. That ain't happening now.
I should have pulled. I would like to see what Dez's numbers are for this season, for how many balls compared to targets. Because he's a target monster, but he's not doing much with them targets. He's really not.
Right. And that's what I was saying. I think some of it is Dez is dropping the ball. Some of it he just ain't getting separation. And some of it is Dak is just forcing him the ball. So he's getting targets, but he really throwing it to Dez. A lot of times Dez ain't really open. He's just trying to get Dez a shot because they have no one else to go to. Nobody else is getting open.
They need an outside threat like yesterday.
Yeah, when's the last time that they've drafted a receiver? I mean, they draft a lot of other positions, but I don't think they've drafted a receiver in quite some time.
That's a very good question. I can't recall one. They get a lot of walk-on receivers, but as far as drafting second, third, first round, no, they don't really do that.
No. They might want to start thinking about it, especially after this year.
I mean, they're going to have a draft pick. They're going to have it this year.
Yeah. And, normally you can get the top receiver in the draft. Normally you can get them in that 10 to 15 range probably.
Yeah.
So they should be hovering right there because I don't think they're making the playoffs.
Hell no.
So they should be.
One thing that bites them too, Jerry done took a lot of gambles on some of these cats. Think about if they would have did something instead of Randy Gregory. That was a year ago?
Yeah.
The drug test at the combine, I believe.
What's that?
I believe he failed the drug test at the combine.
Randy Gregory?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's failed multiple drug tests. I want to say he failed another one this year.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's currently on a 1-year suspension now, right?
I want to say he failed one while on suspension.
So I mean, obviously that young man's got some problems and he needs some help. Things bigger than football. Yeah, like I said, Dallas needs some receiving options. People is where we're going with this. They need to draft some weapons next year because if you're going to try to model the triplets of the '90s, where Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt Smith. Okay, you got that can do his thing when he's got Zeke. So that's 2 pieces right there. But you need to get another receiver. You can look at Dez as being that third piece, but you need to get a speed guy that can open up that defense, man. Think about if they had a speed guy that can open up the top on that defense, and you got Zeke. The places that offense can go.
Jesus.
Dak can manage that. But if you asking Dak to throw 35, 40 times a game and win you the game off of passing in his arm, he's not at that stage yet.
It's the reason why he went 4th round, people. And it ain't got a lot to do with that damn DUI. He was going 4th round before the DUI. It has nothing to do with that. It's just
and we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I forget the player we were talking about. We were talking about how they build you up. That was last year. Building up. Now they want to knock him off the pedals because he's not doing as well.
I'm trying to think who that was.
Was it?
No, it wasn't Dak. It was another young quarterback. Was it Deshaun?
It was Deshaun Watson. It was the week. It was the week before he got hurt. That's what it was.
Right. It was a week before. You're right. Yeah. But Philly, Carson Wentz only had 168 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I wanted to have ice on the show because I kind of. Are you convinced?
I mean, I'm convinced to a certain degree. I'm convinced that they are legit. They're a legit team. The only thing that's going to scare me or give me case for pause is come playoff time, it's a different animal, a different monster. What's going to happen? Now, they look to be having home field advantage, so that's going to help. But, depending on who you get matched up with in the playoffs, some of these coaches, especially going up against a second-year quarterback, some of these defensive coaches out here take some things away from you real quick. And, if the Eagles get down, because I don't know if we've seen the Eagles get down this year and have to turn around and come back. They're, in that regard, they're kind of similar to the Rams, I want to say. You know, if they get down, what's going to happen?
Matter of fact, they were down early this year. Kansas City beat them.
Okay.
When they were undefeated, they got behind to them. But I just don't know. I look at them, I like the defense, but you're right. Come playoff time, I need.
It's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be a different animal, man. To me, right now, like I said, they legit. I can't take nothing away from it, but for me, come playoff time, man, I'm gonna lean to just me personally. I'm gonna lean towards somebody I know that's been there before, that's got a solid defense as well. Like I'm looking at your Panthers, I'm looking at the Saints.
And I was about to say that, and I don't want to come on.
The Falcons are generating buzz right now. They were just there last year. I like some of these veteran teams more so than I like some of the younger teams come playoff time.
And I'm not trying to come off as Uncle Hate. I know I'm probably going to hear from this from Ice and Eric. I mean, Ice and we lost that game by 5 points. We spotted them field position on 2 turnovers early.
Right.
No, we still lost by 5.
Right.
We had a chance to win the game late. 2 times.
Yeah.
I can't see more because they're 8-2. I can't say that. But
no, they legit. They legit.
It's just I don't see Super Bowl, and it's guaranteed the way folks are saying. I don't see that.
No, it's definitely not guaranteed because I mean, to get through the NFC to get through the NFC, it's gonna be a gauntlet. You're gonna have to beat a couple of good teams. It ain't like the AFC over there. The AFC is the Eastern Conference, like the NBA Eastern Conference. That's the AFC, the NFL right now. So the Eagles gonna have their work cut out for them. Good thing they will more than likely they'll get a bye the first week, so that'll take care of a couple of probably good opponents. So they can still take care of business, but
I mean his 2 main receivers
and traveling defenses.
His 2 main receivers, injury prone, and when we talk about cold, it's gonna be legit cold in Philly. They don't play in no dome. They play outdoors.
Right.
So January when they got to play them playoff games, we gonna see.
Now, one thing Philly got going in their favor that I think more than any other team in the NFC got right now, and we'll see when Greg Olsen gets back and how he looks with Carolina. But the tight end position, Zach Ertz with Philly, I don't think any other team tight end wise can match. Yeah. And that's always good to have that type of receiving option and safety blanket in the middle of the field. Because we know Torrey Smith is pretty much post and go routes, deep comeback maybe. We know Alshon Jeffrey, what he going to give us. Nelson Aguilar seemed like he's kind of slacked off in the slot last couple of weeks. But they got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of weapons.
Yeah. They saved him from being a bust. But I can't knock him. I guess I need to see a little bit more. All right, the last game of the week, the Atlanta Falcons win. Now, can we call that a statement win?
Yeah, we can call that.
They went up to Seattle. I didn't pick them to win this game either. They went up there and they beat Seattle 34-31. It's almost like did they win or did Seattle lose?
I mean, they won. They had to hold on, but they won. They did a lot first half of the game to build that lead. Russell Wilson didn't help with a couple of those turnovers early. But even after those turnovers, Seattle got back in the game, and it was pretty much a back-and-forth game. Seattle kind of being down with 5-8 point range for the most of the part of the game until late. I
got something. I got 2 things. This was the best Desmond Trufant has looked to me this year in that game last night.
Yeah, he looked good last night. He did.
And number 2, Jimmy Graham is talented, but he's weak. That's a big, weak dude, man. Don't he just come off weak just all the time?
Is it a particular play or something that you had him? I mean, because we know he's not a blocking tight end, so we know that. So
hell no, that ain't him. I didn't like that touchdown he had. He was at the goal line, right there. Keanu Neal knocked his head off. But it just seems like if that ball ain't thrown perfectly to him, he ain't getting physical. That ain't happening.
Nah. I mean, I see he tried the box out post up thing on that one on that one fade route, but he never really got off the ground. So I mean,
No. And even with that, he had a chance. The ball went right through his hands.
yeah, and there was another one, another touchdown on the scramble. That Russell had that 10 to 12 second scramble when he threw the touchdown, threw the ball in the end zone, and it went through his hands. That was another opportunity there. So
case in point, something you just said. I'd rather have Zach Ertz than Jimmy Graham.
Oh yeah.
All day.
Yeah. And anybody saying otherwise is looking at Jimmy Graham from New Orleans.
But I guess the thing about Seattle, I think you said this a couple weeks ago, they got a lot of the same guys at wide receiver. A lot of small, little scatter guys.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see them with a physical wide receiver on the outside. I would love to see them.
Yeah, that would help complement Doug Baldwin pretty well. They don't have that. They used to have that with Jermaine Kearse, but they let him go.
Right.
He's with the Jets now. So they depend on pretty much Paul Richardson. I almost called him Pooh Richardson again. Paul Richardson and Tyler Lockett. That's another thing. With what Seattle was able to do special team wise with Lockett returning some of them kicks. And they didn't capitalize on a lot of those things that they should have in that first half.
Why the hell was Atlanta continually kicking to him?
But they wanted them to run one back. They were trying to let him run one back.
They were trying their best. Let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in this room.
All right, Pete Carroll. So let me get my notes out because I was typing them as we went along, or as the game was going on last night. Yeah. Because I was saying for a minute, man. Pete Carroll ain't no coach to me. He a rah-rah guy. He a spirit animal. He a cheerleader.
That's a good. You call him a spirit animal. That's funny.
I guess we start with the fake field goal before halftime. What the fuck? I mean, you got 7 seconds left. Yeah, you got a timeout. I think they had a timeout left.
Nah.
No, they used the timeout.
The last timeout. Yeah, before the field goal.
So, and you about 20 some odd yards, give or take out. Why would you run a fake field goal right there?
It was 35. But I'm going to tell you this. Have you ever seen a year like this year where coaches are scared to put their kickers out there?
Nah.
It seemed like they are scared to death putting the game in these dudes' feet.
Yeah.
This year. Because that lets you know he did not want 35 yards. And you didn't want to put 3 on the board getting the ball at the half?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't even know if it was him not trusting his kicker as much as he just decided to roll the dice at the wrong time. Pete Carroll he authorizes some dumbass play calling. We know about the Super Bowl. We know about that, and there's been some other questionable decisions. He had a couple of them in this game. That was a questionable call. The challenge on the Doug Baldwin catch second half.
That was stupid.
So, first
who the fuck told him to do that?
Doug Baldwin.
You don't listen to him, so nobody's upstairs in his ear. Pete, bad decision.
I knew that was going to go wrong from the time because Doug Baldwin got up adamant from the time that they called it. He got up adamant that he caught the ball. I'm like, dude, it didn't look like that. Then I saw the replay. The ball hit the ground. What are you talking about? And he was over there like, Coach, I caught it.
Again, there was nobody in his ear that could tell him. They saw the replay on TV, and this was a bad decision.
Was there anybody in his ear to tell him that throwing that slant at the goal line in the Super Bowl was a bad idea?
Yeah, his homie Darryl Bevel, who was standing next to him.
Who's the offensive coordinator right now?
Darryl Bevel.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, so you done ran off at least 3 what the fucks.
Oh, well, even before that, what the fuck, you got to back up because what kind of killed Seattle coming down the stretch, lack of timeouts. So they blew a timeout a minute into the half, 2 minutes into the half.
Yep.
Unacceptable. That can't happen. And then he blew another timeout with that dumbass challenge. So that that kind of put them behind the 8 ball. They still had a chance, an opportunity there at the end, but just thinking they would have had at least one more timeout. They would have had more time on the clock and been able to maybe get another couple of plays off and get closer.
Hey, even in a loss, Russell Wilson is still number 1 to me as far as MVP right now.
He's still in the mix for me. I probably can't give him 1, just because of their record and what they're looking like overall right now. But you're right. I mean, if you take them off that team, what are they? They are basically Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers, right?
That's magic that he's pulling out there. It's almost like that cat. It's like he feels that rush.
Yeah. And I don't understand how the defensive guys, and maybe it's a adrenaline in the moment kind of thing, but he does that little reverse spin out
all the time.
So it's like you should be able to kind of try to gauge a little bit better where he's going to end up, because I don't see him go straight up when the pocket crash. I don't see him go step up.
Around.
He's going to circle to one of the edges. So I don't know. I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I can see that from sitting on my couch. But, who knows what they seeing upstairs.
I mean, he paid the price for it. Was that last week when they knocked his jaw loose?
We're going to see. I mean, shout out to him. He helped me win a fantasy game last night. I was down 39 points coming into the game.
Dang, for real?
I was down 39, and him and Matt Bryan got me 41 points. I won by 2.
Oh, I bet whoever that was mad as hell.
Juice? Well, he's already out anyway. But
yeah, he playing for that 50. But Atlanta, let's talk about them.
Yeah, let's give Atlanta their props.
I'm good. I know in our private chat when it first happened, was that last year? I wasn't too fond of this Mohamed Sanu signing. I thought they gave him too much money.
Mm.
But I like him.
Yeah.
I like him for this team. He it seems like he's gotten physical since he's gotten here. He wasn't this receiver in Cincinnati, I don't recall. Maybe they were running BS, but he seemed better.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him, kind of balling in Cincinnati. I mean, I remember there was a time in Cincinnati where A.J. Green was out, and, he had to kind of take over and be the main guy. He held it down for about 6 weeks.
I remember that.
That's why I kind of felt it was at least a decent signing. It's turned out good. I mean, like you said, the physicalness of him is what really sets him apart. He willing to get in there and block.
I'm going to say something. It might be blasphemous. And you tell me.
Here it come, people. Here it come.
Does he compete for the ball more than Julio? You got to see me on that.
I'm gonna have to look out for that. I don't know.
Don't it seem like he's more aggressive for the ball? Julio just, and with Julio, I'm not saying Julio. You know how I feel about Julio. When he's healthy, I think he's number one in the league. But sometimes I don't think he's as aggressive and flex for that ball the way he should.
Could be on the song. I think maybe Julio relies on his athleticism more.
Yeah.
He's because more times than not he's gonna out jump, the corner for the ball, and maybe he kind of depends on that because I see a lot of the times corners get their hands in there and knock balls away from him as he's coming down.
Yeah.
They know they can't reach him up here.
Hell no.
They kind of come down, and that's where they get him.
That sideline.
It was last night or the Super Bowl?
Bro, it was 2 dudes with him.
Oh.
When he went up to get that ball on the sideline.
Yeah.
2 dudes. What do you think about Matt Ryan last night?
No, I think he did fairly well. I thought second half, he maybe started to hit some footsteps a little bit. I think he did a solid job last night.
That scramble he made late in the fourth saved that game for them.
The one I think he ran for about 12 yards. Get the first down.
12 to 15 yards because it was a big third, and that's another thing too. They made some big third downs last night.
They did. They were 9 out of 14. That's very good. And speaking of Matt scrambling, that's one thing he's added to his game this year. Maybe he did a little bit last year as well, but I really notice it this year. He's scrambling and running out of some of those situations way better than he used to. He used to be a duck back there. Now, now he can pick his feet up and move a little bit.
I tell you, it seems like Seattle shows up on the game report every week, but there's a number that's looking me dead in the face that bothers me every week. 9 penalties for 106 yards.
Every week.
Every week.
They have over 100 yards in penalties.
So you just said about him being a spirit animal and a rah-rah guy. if he walks in there like, we got to do better on these penalties, but it's all good. You think anybody pays him any money?
Probably at this point, no. Especially on the defensive side of the ball. Especially, and this has been brewing for a couple years since the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, I'm pretty sure at this point, a lot of stuff is going in one ear and out the other. Well, they got a lot of injuries too.
They do. You can have injuries all day long, but you averaging 10 penalties a game?
Yep.
That's unacceptable.
It is. But, when you got second, third string practice squad guys in there, they're those caliber players for a reason because they make a lot of mistakes.
That's true. But I know I said last week going into this game, I said if Julio does not get right in this game against these suckers on the outside, something's wrong.
Yep.
Something's wrong. 5 balls, 71 yards, 10 targets. They threw him the ball.
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect? Is it because he's hurt? You think?
I think he's doing – he's not scoring touchdowns, obviously. But, even when Julio doesn't have gaudy numbers, he's doing his job because the other side of the field is opening. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's doing that, his productivity is not always going to show up in the box score. He brings a lot more to the table to that team than that. So I think they're on a good little run right here. I think they won 3 of the last 4, whatever. They got a very winnable game coming up this week against Tampa Bay. Don't let it be a trap game. You lost to Buffalo at home. You lost to the Dolphins at home. We see where those teams are. Do not let a Ryan Fitzpatrick-led Bucs team come into the Georgia Dome on Sunday and steal the momentum that you gained.
You know what? I'm going to rebuke that in the name of Jesus because I don't even want to see that happen to them. I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, and I do not want to see that happen because they riding high right now.
They are.
They're on that good dope right now. If they lose that game and them suckers on Sunday, the Fitz Magic.
Hey. I was getting ready to say something about Seattle too. Oh, yeah, you think about Seattle, how close Seattle was in that game last night, and they're still in the playoff hunt with no run game, a bad offensive line. Legion of Boom is pretty much dead, no pass rush. Teams are running on them. And yet and still, they are still right there. What would they do if they were fully healthy?
They'd be scared. They were my Super Bowl team to get there.
Yeah, I had them in Oakland. So
I had them in Pittsburgh. So I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be hard-pressed at this point to get there. They're going to be hard-pressed. All right. Let's go.
Well, they still got a inside track to win the division. Because they only a game back, and they own a tiebreaker with the Rams, and they play the Rams another time.
That's true.
They got the 49ers. They got us coming up this week. So they could get right. I don't know. We might steal one this week, man.
You feel a trap?
We must still. We almost beat them early in the season. They only won 12-9.
Mike Davis. Mike Davis looked good last night.
He did, and I hate to see him get that injury. I think it was an ankle. Something they said. Something Lord. Growing.
Have you seen that type of explosion out there? They backfield. You see how hard he hit the hole last night? That boy was running hard for them.
Yeah. Not since Chris Carson was in the lineup early in the season and he got hurt.
Oh, that's right, Chris Carson. Cat, I traded in fantasy. What up, though?
You traded what? Chris Carson for what? I think Keenan Allen or something?
Got Keenan Allen, and Chris Carson got hurt that week. So I'm marching. All right, let's get to these champs and chumps. All right, my champs for the week. I got the defense. They went up there to Green Bay. Brett Hundley was coming off a bye, if I'm not mistaken. And
they played the week before.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Ravens were coming off the bye.
Right.
They went up there and they got it done 23-0. I know that it wasn't Aaron Rodgers, because if it was, it would not have been a shutout, but the Ravens defense got it done. Champ number 2, Keenan Allen. Speaking of which, Keenan Allen had, I believe, 12 balls, 159 yards, and 2 touchdowns. From what I heard later on, he was playing with a heavy heart because his grandfather had just recently passed, like that weekend, I believe. So, you know, seemed like cats really seem to focus when they're dealing with death or whatever. And the third one, Drew Brees. We talked about him earlier. He has not had to dial it up like this entire season. But when they needed him to throw the ball and get it done, he was able to do it. That team is scary, people. It is a scary, scary team. My chumps. I think this is a one that we both agreed on. I got a chump for the Bills coach, the GM, the owner, anybody who had an opinion on Tyrod Taylor, Ty God, for Nathan Peterman. I heard after the game that Joey Bosa said the team felt disrespected, that they were flying out to LA and starting a 5th-round pick against them. Like they just the suckers to steal on. Word, because that was 5 interceptions in the first half. And what's even worse is this sucker done came out talking about we still evaluating the quarterback situation. What?
Yeah, Sean McDermott, let's just say he's showing that he is a rookie coach.
What's that to evaluate after 5 picks? What's that to evaluate?
Hey, man, Tyrod came in and, well, I mean, it was a blowout at that point. It was all passing numbers. But, look, clearly Tyrod needs to be the quarterback if y'all plan on trying to make the playoffs. I mean, you're not out of the playoff hunt because the bottom of the AFC is garbage. So if you plan on trying to make the playoffs, you need to stick with Tyrod.
We want to see y'all get in the playoffs before in the 21st century. It'd be nice.
And y'all were on y'all way. Thought y'all was going to break the streak. Now it's not looking so good.
And my last chunk goes to Marcus Mariota. The homie mentioned it earlier how Marcus threw 4 picks. And it was kind of quiet. Nobody said nothing. I'm telling you, people.
Everybody said
like the nice guys. They like them. The nice guys, that shit rides, man. They go up there and they be like, yeah, you know, I didn't play up to my potential. It put it on me. I threw them. No, man, you threw the game. You're just nice. That shit irks the hell out of me. They love the nice guys.
Let Jameis have thrown 4 picks.
Bruh. Damn, it threw 3 picks.
They still be talking about it.
They love the nice guys, man. They love them.
That was funny as shit to me. It was like, you see, that game was Thursday. It was Saturday, and I was still waiting to hear one analyst say anything about it. And I was like, okay, I guess maybe it didn't happen. Maybe it was fake news. Maybe I didn't watch him throw 4 picks.
And some of them picks were horrendous.
Really
terrible picks. And how you tell your ass? First of all, the first thing he needs to do, and this is your uncle talking to you, cut that goddamn porn stash off. It looks stupid. Cut it. You are too young for a porn stash. It looks horrible. Cut it.
Leave that shit for like Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes. You a young man. You out there moving with the porn stash? That's what's hot in these streets.
Boy, you stupid. You got me choking. Oh, man.
That's myself, man. I'm done.
All right, so I'm going to hop off on into my champs. I had another receiver, Antonio Brown, speaking of that Pittsburgh-Tennessee game. Antonio Brown getting the champ from me, 10 receptions, 144 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 pretty smooth touchdown dances.
Yes.
Boy can't be covered, man. The boy cannot be covered. Le'Veon didn't really do a whole lot this game. No problem. We just rely on Antonio Brown. So Pittsburgh keeping it rolling. My next champ, the Vikings defense. Shout out to the Vikings defense, again, holding the Los Angeles Rams, the highest scoring team in the league, averaging 33 points a game, and they held them to 7. 7 on the first drive. So that's really like a shutout to me, if you ask me.
Hey, in regards to that, because their kicker is good from like 60.
Yeah.
And that means they weren't even close if he didn't attempt the field goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Zerline got a leg, so that's a good point. I didn't think about that. So Vikings defense gets a champ from me. One of my chumps, we pretty much already talked about it. Pete Carroll, stand front and center, you getting that chump. And even though he played a pretty good game, down the stretch, I think he cost him the game. So I'm giving the chump to Kirk Cousins.
But ain't that what he does, though?
Yeah, I was sitting there Sunday watching the games like, this is why you get franchised every year.
Every year. And the funny thing, people talk about Cam being a roller coaster. Kirk Cousins is a roller coaster every week. He
Yep.
went to Seattle and won when everybody was healthy.
I'm about to say they'll go beat Super Bowl teams and then struggle with the Bucks.
Because that game was over with Sunday. It was over. They won.
Yeah.
And they marched down that field and beat them. Terrible. I had an additional champ I was thinking about. Maybe this is the wrong champ. Hey man, shout out to Baker Mayfield.
Frankie told him to suck his what?
Cause they disrespected him before the game. They didn't want to shake his hand.
Hey, let me ask you this: since you brought that up, something like that take him out of the Heisman?
You know what? I can see it happening, but who could they justify giving it to?
I mean, Saquon and he didn't slacked off, probably to no fault of his own, but he didn't slacked off the last couple weeks. You can't give it to Donald, Rose, and none of them cats. I don't even know who else is really even in the running.
That Love cat from the running back from Stanford, but you ain't heard shit about him either. So, I mean, they got to give it to him at this point.
Yeah, I still think it's his, to lose or win or whatever, but it was just funny. Funny how that plays out. I don't think it's going to affect him, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yes, sir.
All right. So
this bed. We agreed about this bed around 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. It's normally not that quick, people. It's really not. Actually, we had 2, but the Saints pulled it out. They pulled it out.
Yeah. No,
the bed goes to the.
Repeat that. I don't think people heard you breaking up.
We had 2 piss the beds on Sunday, but Saints pulled out their game. So we're going with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, you
had how many times we done seen this movie?
1 o'clock Sunday?
I'll give 3 o'clock, 3:30. It was around there. How many times have we seen this movie?
Hey, man, when it gets cold, and it wasn't even cold Sunday. Alex Smith can't throw that ball down that field, man. Because
we've seen this movie every damn year for the last 3 years.
We know how it ends.
You know how it ends. Okay. And the fucked up thing about it is they're still in the lead in their division.
Yeah. Yeah, that was supposed to be one of the strongest divisions, and it turned out to be one of the worst.
Because if the Chargers win Thursday, Kansas City gonna catch that lemon booty. If they go to Dallas and win Thursday, and they're 5 and 6,
mm-hmm. They're gonna start.
Have they played?
Huh?
They played them one time this year already. Kansas City beat them one time this year already, so they still got them another time.
Right. We'll see.
Consider Mahomes?
Huh?
Would you consider Mahomes?
No. No, I'm still in the playoffs. Nope. You gotta ride the vet. I mean, they got to get back to doing what they do. I mean, they don't have. That's another team to me outside of Tyreek Hill. They don't have the right receiving weapons. They rely on the tight end a lot. The running game. What's the running game?
They can't block nobody. Can't block nobody.
They got Andy Reid is a pretty good play call. They got to figure some things out. But I wouldn't put the rookie in not this late in the season, not still in the playoff race. No, I wouldn't do it. So basically, they're hoping for Alex to get hurt. Nah, man, I think Alex can get you to the playoffs. He ain't gonna win no Super Bowl, but I think Alex can get you to the playoffs. But I tell you one thing: when you look at it, as much as I can sit here and say I done seen this movie, the offense is ranked 9th overall, I believe. The defense is ranked 29th. Defense is where that's the most surprising part, is the defense. Now, we know they lost Eric Berry, but I thought they still would have enough there, to be able to be formidable. That's not happening. They lost Eric Berry the first week of the season.
They won 4 other games after that. It might have been 5 straight games after that, and they made it happen. But hey, man, we seen this movie before. Y'all weren't supposed to lose to the Giants. Don't give a damn how bad it was. You weren't supposed to lose to the Giants. You just weren't.
I mean, they schedule. I mean, looking at their schedule, they should be okay. They got Buffalo, the Jets, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Broncos.
Oh yeah, shit, they can win all them games.
They should be favored in all of those games. At the very least,
if they beat Buffalo convincingly Sunday, then I'll be on that train. Right now, I don't believe nothing.
I mean, even if they split that, and go 3-3, that should be enough to get them in the playoffs at 9-7 to win that division. Because that's really what we're talking about is winning that division.
Okay, but you say that, but then you turn right back around and look. The Chargers got Dallas, Cleveland, Washington, Kansas City, the Jets, and the Raiders.
But I don't think the Chargers are as good as the Chiefs.
Nah, not necessarily. I like their defense better.
Okay, but I mean, I damn sure can't trust the Chargers. Look how many games they lose and give away.
Yeah, they are cursed. I was about to beat that drum for them, but they're cursed.
You was about to get on that. You had to get off that Bills train, so you had to find another one to get on. You was about to hop on that one. Nah.
Hey, I be trying to see the bright side of stuff. I try not to hate at all times.
But I guess I'm just looking at the fact that with a 2-game lead with 6 games left in that schedule, they should be able to handle their business.
Yeah, because the Chargers should have won that Jacksonville game before the Buffalo game. Yeah. Kansas City can't knock them for that. I can't knock them. And you know what? If Ty Guy goes up there and beats them, then I might go back on his bandwagon. I might.
All right. So people, we're gonna go ahead and jump in the last call before we get up out of here. First up, you got Lavar Ball versus 45 versus the Lakers coaches. I'll start to give my 2 cents or my piece on Lavar versus 45. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, Lavar. Why you gotta get on TV and do an interview? I don't know. The same way I don't understand why 45 has to come out and ask for somebody to thank him. He acting like everybody's got a friend or a family member. They do something for people, but they gotta let everybody know about it. They gotta remind you about it. Like, well, did you really do it from the heart, or did you do it, to get your name out there, to get praise? That's what 45 acting like. 1. 2, people may not feel me on this, but I kind of feel LeVar. I didn't get locked up. My son got locked up. You freed him. He said thank you to you.
Right.
It's over. You should have bigger fish to fry than to be trying to start a Twitter war with me, little old big baller brand LeVar Ball. The only thing he's doing is giving LeVar more exposure.
They were trending that way with Lonzo's play, but that put him right back out there. Right back out there. You haven't even really heard much from LeVar. You really haven't.
Yeah.
But I didn't agree with him coming out about the coaches saying they soft. They don't know how to coach his son.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
You already got a bullseye on this kid's back.
Yeah.
Can he not learn to shut the fuck up just a little bit?
Right, because I don't think it's the coaching that's causing Lonzo to have his struggles. Because you look at him like the other night, and he had a triple double. So it's times where Lonzo is showing the flashes that we expect him to be the player that he's going to be somewhere down the road. We just live in an era where we want everything microwave. We want it right then, right there. If you're a top 5 pick, we want you to show top 5 Hall of Fame greatness in your first year. Otherwise, you a bust. That's just kind of the era that we live in. But I think Lonzo, like you said, LeVar's not doing him any good calling the coaches soft. What is that going to do? This ain't Chino Hills. You can't call a coach out and get him fired.
At all. At all.
I would suggest that he stop that, or otherwise I'm pretty sure Magic Johnson going to have him coming into his office, maybe having a couple talks.
Yeah, that's some sucker shit, Lavar. Let's untie up the rest of this basketball. We're gonna finish with these rivalry college games. What do you think about Lonzo walking away from the skirmish?
Typical millennial Drake listening to music, laid back Cali attitude. It didn't surprise me. But at the same time, you know, what veterans are on that team? Is Luau Deng still on that team? I know they were trying to trade.
He won't.
I know they said some players or some people talked to him about it. You know, it's a learning experience for the young guy. You know, as a teammate, though, I'm kind of in the back of my head, all right, if we go out somewhere out in the town and some shit pop off, I know who ain't going to be down to help. We know who's going to be on them.
These are simple rules that we were taught. Yeah. Hey, man, Lonzo, this your uncle's telling you. If your people get in something, act like you want to fight. You can't walk away. Act like you want to fight at least. You got to. Just do better, young man.
Yeah.
And
like you said,
you hear about this kid?
Go ahead, you're breaking up.
Did you hear about the kid Michael Porter?
I didn't, so I seen the notes, but I read it. That's unfortunate. He's gonna miss the season. Potential #1 pick coming up next year, but those backs ain't nothing to play with. So you got to go ahead and get that right. I haven't had a chance to see him this year. I seen him some in high school. He looked the part. He looked legit. This is definitely a setback though.
Hey, I'm not being funny when I say this. This is the Lord looking out for us as Hawks fans. Because now he going to drop from 1 down to where we going to finally get the wing we've been hoping for since we was in 10th grade. We finally going to get a wing.
Shit, the way it's going, we going to have the most ping pong balls.
I hope so. Burn it down, start over. At least we got a plan. Hey, that boy Sapp going to be out for 3 months. I just read with Denver. I'm glad we didn't pay him.
I saw that his wrist.
Boy, I'm glad we didn't pay. Well, you know what? Shout out to this Hawks administration because they ain't even make him an offer. Make him an offer.
Shout out to Grant Hill and crew.
There you go. All right, let's do these rivalry games when we get up out of here. I'm going to run them off to you. Tell me what you think, who you got. Michigan versus Ohio State.
Taking Ohio State.
So Jimbo ain't going to beat them at all?
Not this year.
Damn. Okay. Auburn and Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Who you got? Go ahead and call it upset. Step out there.
Where is it at? I do want to take Auburn. I kind of want to take Auburn because Alabama's got a lot of injuries piling up. I talked about it last week, especially in their linebacking core. I think they're down like 5 or 6 linebackers. They got some injuries in some other places as well. And Auburn, Auburn's got some weapons that can exploit some holes on their defense. Yeah, I'm taking Auburn. I don't like Alabama either, but I'm going War Eagle.
Bet that up. All right, the game that's important to me this weekend, Georgia Tech. This ain't a trap. We done had our trap game already, right? We're going to get this done.
We should. It's going to be a battle of running games. We know that Georgia, we know we like to run with Chubb and Michelle, Swift, them boys. And we know Georgia Tech is going to come out there and run triple option. They might throw 5 passes. So we know what it's going to be. It's just a matter of, just going out there and handling business. I think we lost to Georgia Tech last year. Not taking them seriously. We should have beat them. So noon game, noon kickoff, get right to it, get their ass out the way, and get on about the day. And sit back and watch the Iron Bowl.
We lost our number one.
What's that?
Because we lost our number one running back. We lost our number one running back.
All right. So, lastly, before we get out of here, and I just thought about it midway through the show. Want to give a shout out to Terry Glenn, who passed away yesterday in a car accident. Former Ohio State player, former Cowboy, Packer, and Patriot, I believe. I think he played for those three teams in the NFL. Did he win a Super Bowl with the Patriots?
Nah, they lost.
He went to one, but they didn't win it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, 43 years old, lost his life in a car accident. I think his wife is still in critical condition, last I heard, if I'm not mistaken.
That's tough, man.
And he leaves 5 kids. I think Terry Glenn, I think he battled, DUIs and things throughout his career, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that wasn't a part of this, accident. But he was a solid, NFL player. He wasn't no scrub by no means. So,
Not at all. Not at all. Sorry to hear that, man. Especially going into the holidays. You hate to see shit like that heading into the holiday season.
All the time. All right, so we're going to wrap it up for the night, people. Again, that's the Week 11 recap. Champs and Chumps, Pitch the Bed Award and more. Uncle Hate, tell the people where to reach you at, man.
You can reach me at Rico6000 on Twitter. Holler at me. I talk sports.
Right. You can reach myself at Diego Barich on Twitter. You can also reach us at AA Sportscast on IG and on Twitter as well. We got some activity going on there on both of those platforms. We got to get those things revved back up, especially with playoff time coming back around. So we've been trying to get some new things in the works, get some more interaction going with you guys. So again, look out for some new things there. Also, don't forget, always watch us on the YouTube channel at AA Sportscast. And I've noticed there's a few AA sports out there. A lot of them some of them are old and they don't put out content anymore. But if you search us on YouTube, they'll pop up. So I've kind of changed the heading. Search for AA Sports, Straight Sports, No Chaser. And that's where you're going to get Uncle Hate and Uncle Diego giving you sports talk every Tuesday and Thursday with those shows loaded Wednesday and Friday mornings. So we appreciate that. And always, those of y'all that listen to us on Spreaker, on the go, on that app, we appreciate that love as well. So we're going to get on up out of here, man. Y'all have a good holiday. Eat a lot of turkey. Drink a lot. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Man, just be thankful for life, man. Be easy, man. Keep the politics out. Take a break from that shit this week if you can. All right. AA Sports, baby. Straight sports, no chase. We're going to get up out of here, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Love, peace.